We are not licensed medical professionals. The thoughts and opinions expressed on this podcast are meant to share our experiences and not to diagnose or as a form of treatment. If you or anyone you know is currently suffering, respectfully encourage them to seek help from a licensed medical professional. The topics discussed in this podcast may be triggering for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Now Try It With Wine. I'm Des.
And I'm Mary. Today we have two special guests, my sister-in-law poos, Norma and Amy.
Hello.
Howdy.
So today we're going to talk about love languages. We had someone bring up the topic of love languages when we asked for ideas, and so now we're taking advantage of your input, and we're going to put this out there. So the 5 love languages are 5 different ways of expressing and receiving love. Some of the examples are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Not everyone communicates love in the same way, and likewise, people have different ways they prefer to receive the love.
The love. So during my research, I've only seen that there are only 5 love languages, and it was by a scientist that I cannot remember the name of.
I think it's Gary Coleman.
No, I thought it was a woman.
No, the one who wrote the original book on love languages. I don't know if there's probably a lot of research about the different love languages, but I know there was a guy, a psychologist who worked as a marriage therapist for many, many years.
Yes.
And he wrote the first book. It was Gary Chapman.
Mm-hmm. So there are, as of right now, there are 5 love languages. So the first one is words of affirmation, which are more of like, I appreciate you and I appreciate what you do for me and our
You're
dynamic.
So beautiful.
In every single way.
Dang.
Y'all love my riff?
Nailed it.
So the second one is acts of service, which is doing something for your spouse without being told. So like doing the dishes or vacuuming the house, or you notice that the living room is dirty, so you pick it up for them before they get home, and you're not trying to get recognition.
Yeah, you're just doing it because you see that they need the help.
Exactly. The next one is gifts or gift giving. And that just, I feel like it's self-explanatory. You like receiving gifts. Not that you're materialistic. It's just more so you like the idea of your spouse giving you something without asking and because they thought of you while they were out.
Or you like giving them, because I know for me, I love like all the planning around Christmas of picking out individual gifts for everybody.
Yeah.
That's my way of expressing love, is like finding gifts that I think are unique.
Okay. Next one is number 4, quality time, which is you just like being around your partner all the time, which isn't bad, doesn't make you clingy or anything, because I feel like some people use that as like a clingy option, and it's not. It's just more so you like to, again, be around that person and spend time with them.
I think that you can get clingy, though. Even though it's like an expression of love, it can come off as clingy to the wrong person when they don't have the same love language back.
Yeah. The next one is physical touch, which doesn't mean it's intimacy. Touch-wise, it's just more so like you like to put your hand on their thigh while you're driving, or you like to hold hands when you're out. You like to just like hold on to them when you're walking around. Just something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I didn't realize how important physical touch was to me until I took my quiz, and I've been doing my own therapy. But we'll talk about that more when we get into the cultural discussions. Now that we've kind of explained what we're talking about, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's get a drink. So, Norma, will you introduce the drink that you have brought for us today?
Something different.
We are trying Modelo Oro. It is a gold standard light beer that Modelo has come out with. I am currently on a weight loss journey, so I'm trying different beers out every now and then, and I was very surprised to see today at the store that they had a light version of my favorite beer. So that's what we're going to get into today, and we're going to give you a little ASMR. If I can get it.
You're doing great.
God. Nailed it. First try.
Ooh. Get the pour test. Get the pour
All right,
test.
we're doing a pour test. Mary's going to open hers now. Oh,
That went all over her face. It was a squirter. Oh no.
not the squirt.
Literally went everywhere. That's cool though. Whoa.
Dog, we were trying to get ASMR.
My bad, G.
Pour it up, pour it up.
None of us have had this beer before, so I'm kind of excited to try it.
I don't like beer, so I won't be tasting it.
We were gonna lie and say you did this.
Cut that out, Ed.
Cut it in post. Okay, let me try
The
it.
camera's dead ass.
Cut the cameras. Deadass.
It's not bad.
I found it to taste as unique as Modelo does, just not as heavy.
Yeah,
It
it's
still
not-
has that Modelo aftertaste, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I hate beer, and this was not bad.
If I can make Keith Lee proud, I give this a 9.2 out of 10.
It doesn't have that nasty hops taste that because I don't like beer.
Yeah, I honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it's a pissy. I'm so sorry if that is your like cup of tea. It's not mine.
We call this now try it with wine, so
I'm a beer lover. I'm somebody's Theo in another life.
I'm not. I think this tastes like shit.
Yikes.
actually
You're
compared
not
to other,
invited to the carne
I'm
asada.
sorry. I agree with Des on this one. This is. I think beer is very much piss water to me. It's one of the more gentler beers I've
Yeah,
had
for sure.
going down, but I still don't like it.
Mine's wine or strong liquor. So there's no in between for Des.
Yeah, I'm the same way. For most, I would never have reached for it myself if I had been at the store, but I do kind of like it. I actually kind of like it.
Nice.
I guess I just grew out of my fruity yum yum phase.
Excuse me.
I used to drink cherry vodka sours like they were water when I would go out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about wine.
So culturally speaking, when we're talking about love languages, I wanted to kind of go over like as a Mexican culture or like the fishbowl that we are, to kind of go over what we were brought up as shown as expressions of love in our culture. So one of the things I saw a lot in my research was that there's this hyper emphasis on family and mothers showing affection to our family members and to our mothers specifically. Did you guys have any kind of experience? I always like your dad likes to preface like when he talks to your brother, have you called your mother this week?
My dad likes to, I wouldn't say really guilt trip me, but nitpick. He's like, you haven't called me in 3 days. Do you not have a father? Do you not have a mother? No tienes madre? No, like, you don't have parents to call? And it's not that I don't want to call my parents. It's just that, you know, I don't really feel the need all the time to check up on them as much because I know they're always doing well.
Yeah, I feel like my mom does the same thing as far as like really prioritizing how important it is for us to show up for each other. Like we go to everyone's concerts. We go to everyone, like my sister's concerts, my brother's concerts. My brother throws birthday parties for his kids or, you know, whoever. Like there's always like a pressure to show our love by showing up.
I guess it's a little bit different on my end. My parents like joke about that. Like, you haven't called us in weeks. I didn't know you were my kid for a long time. But what is it? I just gave them my location so they know I'm home all the time and I'm not doing anything different. But I did want, like, off the podcast, I told Mary that it's a little different for me because when I was younger, my parents kind of prioritized like how friends are. You should like have a good relationship with them if they want to. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah. Like our emphasis was more on like family members specifically, and her parents were always pushing her to be more friendly with her friends and build strong connections outside of her family too.
yeah, because I did notice, obviously I did go to family events, but most of my dad's friends, we were like very close with their kids as well. My dad actually had a friend for the longest time and his son was autistic and he just loved hanging out with me because I just knew how to connect with him differently. So that was one thing that my dad like strived for, to have a good relationship with friends and the kids could play with the kids. I mean, some of my friends from elementary, my parents were amazing friends with their parents.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
I didn't have a whole lot of that growing up, and that's probably why I don't like people sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like there's less of a need or a push for me to have friends outside of the family, because I almost, to a certain extent, I felt like my family felt like these people, like me making friendships outside of the family was making rivals for them, for like my attention or something. And like even when I first started dating Robert, both my brothers were very ugly to him because they felt like he was taking me away from the family. So like outside relationships aren't really like, good. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Amy?
Oh no, I just was thinking of. Oh, I was just thinking of like memories because she was saying that her brothers felt like Mary was getting taken away. That when I was like really young at that time, and you guys were dating in high school. I don't know how young I was. What, like 7?
Yeah, you were little. I think we've been dating going on 15 years this year.
But I have this distinct memory where Robert was playing Resident Evil 4. Eye roll. When isn't he not playing that special interest game? That he had. I loved to watch him play video games all the time because he didn't actually let us like play his game console. He would just let us watch it.
The trauma of being the second child.
That's all right. So I look fondly on those memories, but I remember he just like suddenly had put it all down, and I was like, "Wait, where are you going?" And then he was like, "I want to go see Mary," and I was just like, "She's taking my brother away." So I think it's funny. I think it's funny because like that's my brain at 7, and then your brothers are thinking the same thing, but the other way around. But you guys are just. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
My sister wanted me out of the house when Andrew came. She was like, finally, she's leaving.
Personally, I didn't have that kind of dynamic with Amy that she had with Robert and Mary. I kind of somewhat had more with Andres and his high school girlfriend. I was very fond of her. And I think it's mainly because her mom brought cookies.
Oh yeah, those cookies were bomb.
Those are some bussin' cookies. I ask her to this day, and she's like, "I don't even bake anymore." And I'm just like, "Please,
Please, I'll fucking pay you."
I'll buy a dozen. What was that TikTok meme you sent me?
I sent you so many.
The doubloons.
Oh,
I'll give you the doubloons for these cookies.
Doubloon cat. I fucking love Doubloon cat.
He's gone. He's gone.
Doubloon cat. But I grew very fond of her, and when he moved on to other relationships past it, I couldn't see anybody, I guess, as nice and as selfless as she was, you know? I'm very fond of the person that my brother is with now. I feel like her and I have a good conversations. She could back me up.
I love her.
I was like, she gives me good advice and hard advice when I need it. I love his wife. I was like, she's an amazing person.
She really is. I think it brings back to like love languages. Again, she might have a different family dynamic on how they show affection to the spouse's family than we're known for, you know?
Maybe hers would be words of affirmation, just as words of truth, though.
We will have the quiz so we're going to say it now, I guess. So we all did a quiz on what love languages we have. So all 4 of us did it, and we asked all of our spouses to do it, or all of the
ones who could do it.
The men. We asked them to do it to see if we were different, if we were the same. And it was funny. It brought up a lot of conversations between Andrew and I.
It did and it didn't. It was interesting.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I can go first unless someone else wants to go first.
You can go first, Des.
So mine. Hold on, I gotta look for mine. Okay, so my number 1 was receiving gifts as well as acts of service. Again, that doesn't mean I'm materialistic. I love when Andrew goes to the store without me and he's like, "I got you a Mr. Goodbar because I know how much you love these." And I eat that shit up. So that's a really good thing for me. Another one was the acts of service, which was 30%. So receiving gifts was 33% and acts of service was 30%. Acts of service, again, is I'm happy when he does the dishes for me without me asking and without him asking for, what's the word, appraisal?
Praise, no praise.
Praise.
Appraisal. He doesn't want to appraisal one dad ass.
She said, "I'll put dollar signs on that."
Oh my goodness.
That's an appraisal.
That's worth 2 good bars.
2 Mr. Goodbars.
Anyways. So, without him asking for praise when he does it is one thing that I enjoy. Just most recently, he cleaned the kitchen for me and went upstairs and was like, hey, you don't have to worry about the kitchen. I already cleaned it. I know you were overwhelmed with a lot. AKA my family was coming over and I was just overwhelmed to clean. His, though, was physical touch. I have the definition because I had to look a couple of times.
Like I said, definition.
Definition. Stop coming at me. So it's a person whose primary love language is physical touch is not surprisingly very touchy. Hugs, pats on the back, holding hands, and thoughtful touches on the arm, shoulder, or face. They can all be ways to show excitement, concern, care, and love. Physical presence and accessibility are crucial, while neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and destructive. Physical touch fosters a sense of security and belonging in any relationship. It makes sense now. Because anytime like we're like watching TV downstairs, we're away from each other, but Andrew's like hands out because he wants to hold my hand. Even though we're like right there, he wants to hold my hand. Or if we're playing if we're upstairs in the game room, he's like on his computer and I'm on Sims, and he like looks back just to like make sure I'm doing the same thing I was doing before. It's like, it's not physical touch again, but it's more so like he just looks to know like, okay, she's still playing games with me.
Yeah.
But that can also be quality time, which I think was his second one. Hold on, I gotta go back. Yeah. So his was physical touch for the first one, and his second one was quality time. Quality time, you don't have to do the exact same thing. You could be in the same room like Andrew and I are. I play Sims right now because I can't find a video game that I want to play at the moment, and he's playing Overwatch on his PC. But that we're in the same room, not doing the same thing, but knowing that we're playing video games that we enjoy is something that he sees as quality time. And the same thing now, I'm doing the podcast downstairs and he's upstairs making a video for his YouTube. I'm going to plug that in the links later.
We're going to promote it.
We got to promote the producer. So who wants to go next?
Norma.
My boyfriend, his name is Gus. So, he's not very fond of thinking that love languages can be, I guess, a very big deal between girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, and wives. He's very...
Or any other type of relationship.
Yeah, he's very stubborn and very macho and kind of old school. And I'm not too sure if that's his family dynamic that's kind of brought that out for him. For me, I would say, ask me 10 years ago, I might have been skeptical about that. But with this day and age, everybody is more open about their feelings and open communication. And I like to advocate so much about that. So asking him, I was a little hesitant to do, but he was more than willing, which excited me. And I'm going to go ahead and compare our results.
She's excited.
Dang, how exciting, Norma.
What?
How exciting were you for that result?
I was very excited for...
She's
Yeah.
not
my
getting it
result.
at all.
Oh, is it because I'm monotone?
No! Like when girls get excited, you know?
I feel as excited as when Jeffree Star says he's excited to review
Norma,
Makeup
sex.
Brand. Oh. I gotta log off. I'll be right back. Just kidding.
I'm gonna make sure we keep this part in. I wish y'all could see her face. They had like the surprise Pikachu, like, what?
Anyway, so when Gus and I did these tests, it actually very high key surprised me that our quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and physical touch and receiving gifts, they weren't that far off from each other. It was like we wanted the same things. Our quality times were off by 1%. He came off with 30 and I came off with 29%. But I also feel that like our quality times differ from each other. He's more of the homebody type, and his quality time with me is watching TV, playing games, laughing and goofing around at home, and having that special time together. Whereas I'm like my mom. My quality time, I'd prefer that we go out and do stuff together with undivided attention, and we're there with one another, enjoying each other's presence.
Yeah.
My boyfriend, like I said, homebody, likes to stay at home. He likes to send me memes when I'm right next to him. I like to take selfies together when we're out and about. So they're not that far off, and I do appreciate that we have the same but different taste.
Yeah,
when
it
comes to
overlaps
it.
a lot, but your expression is different.
Words of affirmation, especially these last 2 months, haven't been easy between him and I, but words of affirmation have helped him realize how to take care of me more, because I'm always the one reassuring him and giving him plenty of support and words of affirmation. When he was unsure of getting a job in the past, I was just like, hey, look, I was like, you're such a strong worker. You have a good head on your shoulders. And, you know,
Someone
I
will
feel
see it.
as much as you say you hate people, you thrive off of them. You thrive off the energy that they give you. And the more you feel noticed at work, the more your personality and your work ethic comes out. And I give him all the support he needs. I need the reassurance in a different way. Kind of. I have the same headspace as him when it comes to work. Like, I like to be headstrong. I like to be the person that people come to when they have questions about the job. But I also need words of affirmation other places. Right now, we're in a spot where we don't work together anymore. So my words of affirmation are that I'm more than enough right now.
Desiree?
Don't cry, bro.
Oh, I'm an emotional
It's
person.
just a joke. I'm just kidding.
No, but I think her kind of what she's saying is like it is very difficult to communicate your love, even like so like you were
Right.
talking about how you and him have the same love languages, but you express them differently, and like bridging the gap between that can be very difficult for any couple to do. I don't think this is anything that's like specific to you guys. I think, and then I think our words and like our love languages, they can change over time.
Yeah, of course. I don't think mine was acts of service for forever. I honestly, at one point, probably thought that I was more of words of affirmation, probably with my last relationship.
Yeah, I think my last major relationship before Robert, was probably gift giving. Because at that time, I never really got a lot of gifts. So when anyone gave me something, it hit different. Now that I'm kind of used to like a different lifestyle, it doesn't really matter as much.
Dog, for my birthday, my ex-boyfriend gave me $20. No card.
Bruh, there's no way.
Better than mine. He broke up with me on my birthday.
Yikes.
So calm down about your $20.
At least I got $20. Like, shit.
So mine were, me and Robert were pretty much the same on acts of service. And so it was weird. So my first one is acts of service and quality time. And
Right.
his, it was quality time and then acts of service. So we were kind of close. And then, but the third one that what to me was more eye-opening was when we got a little past that. So for him, it's gift giving, affirmation, and then physical touch. And for me, it's physical touch, words of affirmation, and zero gift giving. Apparently, I give no value to gift giving anymore.
No way. Mary's like the best at gift giving.
Yeah, but mine was like zero. Like for me, I think that's how I don't like receiving love through gifts. I don't really care when whether or not people give me something. Like my birthday, if people just showed up, I'd be happy with it.
Honestly, me
Yeah.
too.
But I did notice, so like for me, physical touch versus, so his physical touch was at 13% and mine was at 20%. And that's something that we both kind of had a little bit of issue with. I get a lot from physical touch because I had unsafe touch for so much time. And now that I'm seeing how much I need safe physical touch. I'm always like having my hand on his leg or like reaching out. Like when I drive, my hand is like permanently glued to his chest to make me feel better because I'm a really anxious driver. So I'm like this the whole time with my arm reached out. But Robert isn't really a touchy-feely kind of guy. Like, he just isn't. He doesn't even like giving people hugs all the time.
His sisters are shaking their head tremendously right now. They're like, agreed.
My brother isn't the type for a full body hug. He'll give you that awkward side hug like you were set up by your church pastor to go out with this girl or something. Like,
Yeah.
He gives that Voldemort Draco hug, you know?
Ew.
He's not an affectionate guy, and it's so important to me. I think a lot of like, because I'm not feeling that love in the way that I need it, it's becoming like a source of tension. If that makes sense.
So, I hadn't, wait, let's get Amy's.
Oh yeah, let's do
next.
Amy's, then we'll discuss
Yeah.
like, okay, go ahead, Amy.
Oh, what? My opinion
No,
my
just
brother.
your quiz results.
Oh my goodness, I forgot.
The one you just finished.
Yeah.
The one that you
fin-
proudly declared at the beginning.
I was like,
I
OMG,
finished it.
I just want to put out there, Norma gave us here like an hour before.
Well, to be fair, I didn't even know I was gonna be here today. I
She
kind of
was
just.
a last minute special guest.
That's why I said when I walked through the door, I was like, surprise guest.
I woke her up and I was like, hey, what are you doing today? She said, I'm off. And I'm like, okay, you want to do a podcast with us? And she's like, why not?
Dang, like, I'm happy she's here, but this ain't your podcast.
Damn.
Well, to
I
be
would
fair,
have
I
said
didn't invite
yes,
her technically on the
but
podcast.
damn, bro. Like, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you welcome
She's just
her.
playing. We always welcome having people
Yeah.
on the podcast. It makes it a little less just me and Des talking all the time.
My number one was physical touch as well. That was at like 27%. The second one was quality time at 23%. Words of affirmation, 20%. Acts of service, 17%. And the very last one is receiving gifts at 13%.
How do you feel about them?
I feel like I'm a very well-rounded person. Oh shit, my phone.
She's got a little bit of everything going on.
But, like, do you feel like that does
Accurately.
capture you?
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like I didn't really understand how much physical affection really like mattered to me until I started like dating my boyfriend. We've been dating for like a year already. So
My therapy journey helped me figure out the physical touch was important, like safe physical touch.
I need to go to that.
Therapy?
Yeah.
Girl, same.
But I think when you start like breaking down like why this physical touch is so important, you start to understand your love languages and what kind of physical touch is important. Because we're not talking about necessarily sexual physical touch.
Right. I put it out there. It's not intimacy. It's more so just not like having someone to touch. That doesn't sound right. It's more so like having someone that you care and trust enough that you can hold on to.
Yeah, like a physical, like it doesn't make you awkward, like or feel
Right.
awkward when you have it.
Like your security blanket?
Yeah, like
Yeah, I
like
think so.
puka. Pukas are really
A
good.
blankie?
Yeah, blankie. Like service animals.
Puka's a heavy physical touch guy.
Yeah, that's all he cares about. That's high on his list. Also, like holding my mom's hand. I like holding her hand sometimes. She
I
hates
do
it, and I love
too.
holding her hand.
Dude, my sister and I, like, if we're out with my mom, one of us has to hold her hand. It's just something we do. And my sister and I will fight over my mom. Like, she has two hands. But I'm like, it's just my turn today. Get away.
Now
my
that
mom
y'all-
will swap my hand away.
Now that y'all say that, I realize I like to hold out people's hands because
You've held my
Not
hand. I don't know
in-
how many times.
Yeah, Norma and I
not
hold
only
hands all
with
the
family,
time.
but I take that stuff to work with me too. I like to hold out my hand to my coworkers and see which ones hold my hand, which ones dab me up, or which ones are like, you can put
Dude.
your hand away.
I do that with Priscilla, like...
Or I blow kisses, either or.
We've
I'm
been
just like,
friends for like 7 years, and like every time like we like our hands just like meet one right there. I'm like, oh my god, we better hold hands. But in my head, I'm like, are we?
two
I'm
best
just-
friends in a room. Go kiss.
One time we were like, no, I'll save it for the best friends episode.
Yeah, we'll save it. We'll save it. Words of affirmation. For me, it's not like I love you or that kind of stuff. I want honesty. Like,
I like I appreciate you, or
yeah,
sometimes Andrew will be like, thank you so much for doing the dishes. Like, it's I
I
know
see you.
Yeah,
I
I know
see
it's
you
my
kind of
job
thing.
to do the dishes. Like, that was my chore that we picked together when we moved in. But it's nice when he's like, thank you for doing the dishes. I really wanted to use this pan for the cooking today.
yeah.
It's just small things like that.
Because
For
I
me.
feel like if you focus too, you want to see, like, for me, I want to see examples of, like, I see you, not just I love you, because I feel like that's, people can just say I love you and it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's used loosely.
Especially in our culture where we're like, heart you queen, and like, what, you know what I mean? There's hearts everywhere, and I don't like that. Or we say we love people we've never met before, like on social media, like I love Selena Gomez, or I love whoever the hell.
Now, I love all my friends, bro. Every time I put on there, I'm like, dang, you make me want to switch sides right now. I mean, 100%.
No, affirmations are definitely a big thing. And for me, I guess my biggest word of affirmation is I'm proud of you. Could it be a praise thing for me? More than likely, yes. But
Possible hidden kink, who knows?
for a moment.
good girl.
No, that's my girl. from Howl's Moving Castle.
Not that's my girl.
I fucking love that guy.
No, but the I'm proud of you does go a long way, and it doesn't have to just mean a big accomplishment. I love when Gus tells me I'm proud of me because the other day I actually worked on my resume and
Yay.
I felt like it turned good. He did critique it a little bit. I didn't take it too much to heart, but he said I got button happy with the listing my skills and way too much criteria on my thing. He said, but I'm proud of you because you did it. And I'm just like, hell yeah.
So was it critiquing or was it like constructive criticism?
Instructive criticism.
Constructive.
It wasn't critiquing like...
But you've taken it that way because you're so invested in it, right?
Also,
Yeah.
like, I feel like I'm used to... My dad's a bubble popper. We had him on already. Homeboy's a bubble popper. So I'm used to, like, constructive criticism is straight, like, you're being mean to me.
Yeah. And I tend to be really, really hard on myself. Like, if it's not good the first time around, I don't know how to say, hey, I tried my best. I can do it better next time. I take it like, you're a loser.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
It is nice to find a partner that's, like, willing to do that for you.
Because
Yeah.
as someone who has a partner who always tries to say what I want to hear, I hate it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up. So when Mary pitched this episode topic, I found the link or the quiz itself, and we'll put it in the link. I'm not sure if I said that. We'll put the quiz in the link so you can do this and you can talk to your friends or your spouse. Anyways, when I did this, I told Andrew, I was like, this would be like a really cool topic if the boys did it too, and then like the girls talked about it, and then coincidentally he did it too. So then I told the girls, I was like, hey, do you mind asking your significant other to do it as well, and we can see if it like changes anything. For Andrew and I think it opened up a little more of a topic because I'm not really like a physical person. I don't like hugs if it's not someone I really care for, and even at that I rarely hug. But Andrew, I now know that he likes hugging, but he don't like cuddling because he says I'm too hot.
Robert is warm too. I hate it.
I'm always cold, so I go to him because he's like a heater, and then he's like, "Get away, you're too hot." I'm like,
I like the cuddling aspect when the room is extremely cold. Mm-hmm. My boyfriend is a human heater, so he could only withstand it for maybe 5 to 10 minutes max. And then we're on our phone side by side sending each other TikToks and memes. However, the cuddling aspect has changed moving because I've never lived in a 2-story house up until recently. Even in our apartment, our AC was centralized to only our apartment. So that was pretty cool. And our apartment stayed cold all the time. But we're in this new house and we live upstairs. And I'm sweating constantly. I wake up in the morning sweaty.
yeah, you talk shit about me all the time.
I was talking smack about you. I was like, I don't get how it should be that hot. I was like, honestly, I'm always cold in your house. And here I am, sweaty.
Yeah.
Need a shower in the morning.
The house is 2 stories, and it's like super cold downstairs, but it's like manageable upstairs. But we don't keep it like everyone's like, turn the heater on, and I'm like, no, girl, because it's gonna get hot like a sauna upstairs. Mm-hmm. But anyways, when Andrew and I talked about it, he started noticing. He was like, I know your thing was gift giving because I always complain to him about flowers. I want flowers, and now I've just like started getting them myself, but it's more of he says like he sees the words of affirmation as well, because I will buy my flowers now. I can buy myself flowers. So I'll buy the flowers, but it's nice because he'll notice and he'll be like, those are such a pretty one, like you picked a pretty one this time, or last time I liked them, but these are so much cuter. I like that. What about y'all?
I honestly feel like for Robert, getting back to like the quiz results, I think gift giving should have been higher on his list because he loves getting gifts.
I know that.
He loves gifts. Any little gift, like little random stuff. Like Amy got him a Bulma pop figure. It's like his favorite one.
Aww.
Because it came from Amy.
That's so cute. She's like crying in the club right now.
It's weird because he's so standoffish and so quiet and not very affectionate, but he's very sentimental.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is. When we went to Hobby Lobby and we saw that what is it, Marvel? No, it was DC, because we know DC's his favorite of the like DC and MCU. And Allie was like, let me buy this for him. I'm gonna buy it for him. So we gave it to him for his birthday. He was like, bro, thank you so much. Like, he was on the verge of crying.
Yes, he loves getting gifts because I think it's the intention of someone actually doing something for him.
Mm.
But now he's a gift whore, so.
Yeah, he knows
That
he's getting
slut.
gifts.
Yep.
He's gonna listen to this. I'm gonna keep giving you gifts, and I hope you like them. But I'm gonna say it very angrily.
I love you.
I'm so happy you got this gift.
Punches
What
the
is that?
air.
What is that one meme? He was like, oh, he like dies or something. He was like raging. He's like, I hope you and your family have a nice Christmas.
I did notice as we were kind of talking earlier about different expressions of the same love language. So I know we were talking about quality time. Des had mentioned that you guys could be in the same room and just not really like, you don't have to interact with each other necessarily, but just be in the same room.
Yeah.
And Norma was talking about more focused time. So I think even though me and Robert are kind of the same where we both value quality time, I'm like Norma where I want more focused time. Like put your phone away, look at me when I'm talking to you. Let's eat. We can eat or something, but we need to do something together. But Robert's version is I'm just sitting next to him because he won't talk to me. He'll be playing with his friends online. But if I leave the room, he's like, where are you going?
I think
Mary, are you mad at me? Did you?
Yeah.
Why are you leaving?
it could be different for everybody because this kitchen table is only for the podcast and when family comes. Because if not, Andrew and I are sitting watching TV like the Americans we are. So we have like dinner tables. So that's our thing. We'll pick an anime or we'll pick a show that we're watching in the moment and like watch and sit that. And that's like a quality time for him. Because as soon as that's done, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go play Overwatch. I'm gonna go play Valorant. You gonna play Sims upstairs? I'm like, yeah, okay.
You're like, all right, I can switch to that activity real quick.
I think it's also too, it can be, I know we said it's different for everybody, but I like to be independent. I'm not sure how you guys like feel about that, but I like to have my own time. So quality time fits both of us because he gets to do something he wants and I get to do what I want. I also think that's something from like being the oldest, but I'm not really sure. I haven't like really researched that.
Well, as me, the oldest, I do value my time alone. But because of me and Robert's work schedules, I have plenty of alone time. So when he's home, I want focused time.
So again, it does change on the
situation.
Yeah.
Because I think before when we both worked the same schedule, I was the same way you were. We could just be in the same room and I was cold. That was enough. But now that his schedules, like sometimes he works nights, sometimes he works days, he works longer hours than I do. And either way, if he's working, I only get a couple of hours with him because he works 13, 12-hour shifts.
yeah.
So
It's like the quality time's inconsistently consistent.
Mm-hmm. And so I want more engaged, focused time versus, especially on his days off. And on his days off, sometimes I'm working the whole time. So that even cuts more into it. And then if our days off don't sync up, then it'll be like weeks before we actually like go on a date.
Mm-hmm. Gus and I's schedule have dramatically changed. Backstory, Gus and I met at a restaurant. We worked together for the last 2.5 years. And in October, we both changed our jobs. So there has been a drastic difference in our quality time. And that's where the words of affirmation plays just a little bit more for me because we had the dynamic of eat, sleep, fart, work together, wait for one another after work and go home. And that was our dynamic 24/7 for almost 2 years. And that was my routine. So when our routine changed, he noticed, and I've come to notice because I'm hard-headed and don't think I notice things, that I've needed to rely heavily on the words of affirmation recently because we work in two different places now. He's thriving in his job, and the job that I hate, I feel like it's going to be temporary. Like, I feel like I'm not going to be at this place forever, but it's not the same dynamic from where we came from. So the words of affirmation have definitely needed to be on, like, 100 the, like, last couple weeks. Because as much as I can shove it down, it's always going to come back up. And we're either going to fight about it, we're going to talk about it, or we're going to need a minute or two to think about what one another has said before we say something we might regret or don't understand. And I've noticed he can get the same way as well. But
I think communication is key because I think what you're talking about is something that I think everybody goes through where like life changes. So like when you're dating before you get married, there might be a different way of love language might be different. But once you're married and adult shit starts happening, it's going to change again. And you throw kids in, it's going to change again because quality time, maybe that'll start being more important because you have less time with each other because of the kids.
That's what I was thinking. Just like based off what you're saying, you probably had a different love language at that time because you were always together. And now that y'all are apart, having different jobs, you're noticing like, I want more quality time or I want more physical touch.
Yeah.
Maybe before you were like, I really enjoyed getting flowers, and now you're like, I just want to see him.
Yeah.
You know?
Because my independence used to be like at a 90%, like, I can still do this. I'm a girl boss. Like, I can go to the store by myself. And
Nah, I can't do that. I agree.
Not working together anymore literally changed that whole dynamic. Like, those were my times to do stuff without him. Like, I like to go to secret Target trips without him. I like to go get secret Starbies before we discovered Dutch Bros. All those little things used to play in my life, and I think I get it from my mom. She likes to call when I like to go out by myself, she calls me pata larga, like I can go anywhere, like, you know, I got such big feet, I could travel wherever I wanted to. And I used to go out and I used to drink with my friends and, you know, just tell Gus, hey, text me, like, you know, if you need anything, like, I'm gonna go have a good time, snap me if you'd like. And I'd pay no attention to my phone, and the dynamic changed in October, and I no longer feel the need to have that independence. I want to be, you know, more involved with him.
Yeah, I think a lot of things can affect our love languages and what we want at that time or what we need at that time. I think love languages can be situational too.
I think it really just depends. Honestly, I know I said it in the beginning, but between Andrew and I, it could have been different when we were like first dating. And now that we moved in together, it's different. Because even in the apartment, I think mine was more quality time because we weren't always together. So when we were together, I was like that clingy, like, girlfriend, like, please don't leave me, when he had to leave at like midnight, even though I knew he had to leave at midnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I felt the same way in high school.
Me too, girl.
I felt the same way in high school. Like, I was really clingy in high school, but once we moved in together, I didn't really need to be that way anymore.
Yeah, that's how I feel now. I know, like, since we moved in, I'm like, I need my space.
I need you to go to the store or go hang out with your family or something.
Yeah. No, I can't go to the store by myself.
No, I'm telling you, tell him.
No, I know, but like for me, I can't go by myself.
I think the only time I can go by myself is Ulta, because I know Gus doesn't like to be in there personally. So when I'm in there, I'm having like the time of my life. I'm over here like independent, INDEPENDENT.
Do you know what that means?
Yo.
When Puka and I used to have my day off in the middle of the week, sometimes to just get out of the house, we'd do the trifecta. I'd go to Michael's, Barnes & Noble's, and Target. I loved it. And I wouldn't tell anyone I was going, and I'd get a Starbucks at every stop along the way.
Dang, our trifectas are totally different.
What's yours?
Obviously Target. Obviously. I either go to Home Goods or Trader Joe's. Because if I go to their flowers there are so cheap. So I always buy new flowers, and Andrew's like, damn it.
Can we go on a Trader Joe's date? I have yet to be.
I've never been to Trader Joe's. I've been wanting to go to try some like fancy stuff.
Y'all heard it here, folks.
It's not like fancy stuff.
No,
That's
I mean
more
like
Whole
off the
Foods.
wall, like random stuff.
You could try Trader Joe's. You could try World Market, Sprouts.
Mm-hmm. Get weird snacks and try them.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to World Market.
I love World Market.
Andrew said I'm not allowed in there because it's
you
too
will
expensive.
spend all your money.
For real?
I'm like my mom when it came to independency. I go to Target. I go to Ross. You know?
You go to Walmart.
24-hour Walmart was peak. I used to come bother Amy at 2 a.m. and I'm like, hey, I want chips. You want to go to Walmart?
I miss those days.
Me too.
I used to work in a bar, and I'd come home like at close to 4:30 in the morning, but on my way home, I'd stop at H-E-B, the 24-hour H-E-B.
It's like on one hand, I really miss it, But then on the other hand, I'm like, damn, I also respect that workers need to go the fuck to bed.
Yeah. I get it, but why, bro?
Anyways,
It hurts.
you're like still like pain. You're like, oh my heart.
It's for the greater good.
So
My heart.
So overall, in the culture, I think there's a real push for people to do acts of service and quality time. And then there's a real dismissal of words of affirmation and physical touch. How affectionate were your guys' parents with you?
Not at all.
The dynamic between my dad versus my mom is very, very different. I feel more close to my mom now than I did growing up. Growing up, my mom, and I think Amy could benefit from the fact that low-key our mom used to body shame us. I'm not talking almond mom, but mom used to low-key be passive with the comments she made towards us.
Dude, the siblings
Like, you don't need
said,
to be eating that.
And the siblings you said she called you Betty La Fea all the time.
Oh yeah, she used to watch this Mexican soap opera. Y'all know it in English as Ugly Betty, but in Spanish it was Betty La Fea. And my mom said I can enter a contest to look like her.
Oh.
Pain.
Serious. Y'all know Jane from Twilight when she says pain? That's the pain I felt. I was like,
It's like, I think maybe mom had her own issues with diet culture and stuff like that, and then just in turn
It
threw
could
that
be.
onto us because, like, bitch, why the fuck was she buying us fajas at like 13?
I was indeed wearing a faja to athletics 7th grade, and girls made fun of me. But guess what they're doing now?
We were just ahead of the times, baby.
I'm out here curvy. I'm this close to being a Coke bottle. Thank you, Doja Cat.
Well, my abuelita is their sister, and I can tell you it's the same.
Yeah.
Pain.
Because that's how she is. I remember one time I was like doing like this weird little dance I do, and she was like, if you continue to do that, you could lose weight. And I was like, you're not allowed to sleep in my room while you're here.
She's like, you can't take my room. You can take the guest room.
Oh my
It's full of boxes, but you got this. No, but yeah, my mom used to low-key body shame us. Do I blame her now? No, because I'm getting diet and exercise on my own as a strong, independent adult, kind of.
But
Not
I think it
independent.
plays into like why those words of affirmation are so important now, because you didn't get them before, and now that you
Yeah.
realized how important they are, it's a bigger issue. Like
Yeah.
that's why you need Gus to say those things to you.
Now, when I come to my mom, she's like, girl, save your tears for some. She's like, girl, save your tears. She's like, you don't need to be crying over no man. And I'm like, period. Meanwhile, I'm crying. Well, they're not like serious issues, but like I said, the words of affirmation play a lot, and I tend to overthink a lot. And my mom was like, you're stressing yourself out. Like you don't need to be crying.
She's like, just
There's no
relax.
big. Yeah, she's like, relax now. And I
She's like, "It's not
value
that
that a
deep."
whole lot more now. Would I have needed it like 10 plus years ago? Yes.
The validation, I think, would have been more important, like in your formative years, like in high school.
That would have given me more, I guess, empowerment.
Yeah, and confidence. So it wouldn't be such a big deal now if it had been handled a certain way before.
Yeah. And then my dad is my dad. My dad cherishes me. I wouldn't say worship the ground I walk on, obviously, but for my dad has always given me those types of words of encouragement. He might not say it in front of everybody, but behind closed doors, my dad has always done that, especially when my dad was teaching and advising and showing me ways to do things on my own growing up. But my dad went out of his way to make sure I learned stuff to be self-sufficient and to gain that confidence. So sometimes Gus has to remind me, he's like, hey, you don't have to do this stuff all on your own if you want to be alone. Like, you know, you could be alone, but I'm here for you. And I'm just like, you're right. And then in the back of my head, I can hear my dad low-key saying, you don't need no man. Be self-sufficient. Go get an education. Go make your money. Like, you don't need a man. So that's another, I guess, cultural aspect if you think about it. Like, relying on a man.
Oh, I was just gonna say, calling back to the whole maybe possibly the reason why your words of affirmation is like why you cherish that so deeply is because how you lacked it in childhood. I feel like my Mine is physical affection for kind of the same reasons. I mean, mom was never really much of a physical like hugger person. She even tells me, she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't really like hug you while you were growing up. And I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. Just don't touch me now. Like, I find it like, I don't know, with me, I don't really like to be hugged by people or anything like that. But then in my actual like relationship with my boyfriend, like I'm just an absolute cuddle bug.
I do notice like with me and you, like we'll like do this little like leaning into each other kind of thing a lot, or like I'll hold her hand or put my hand on her knee a lot, and I think I've done that a lot like since the beginning of our relationship.
It's a welcome feeling.
It's not overly affectionate like cuddling with like a spouse or like
I'm
a
very
partner.
Reserved in my affection.
How I said in mine, like it's people that I trust and I want to do that with.
Yeah.
Because like if my boss came and wanted to hug me, I'm like, and I like push out my hand for a handshake.
Yeah, because it's like, let's keep this professional. You're not my family. You're not my
I
friend.
hate that.
You're
Like
my boss.
I'm a hugger. I'm like I'm not. I don't like it.
I haven't really had anyone tell me no, I'm not a hugger. I just like hug people.
No, but I'm saying like
No, but
like, for
I
you,
haven't encountered
totally.
someone like who was like, don't touch me.
I've never said it. I'm just like ugh, I just kind of like reserve. I do that side hug like Robert does.
You hug me back.
Yeah, I know, and I'm saying like because I like you and I
I
trust
get
you
I
enough.
I need to back it up in my mind. I was like, you hug me? I'm like, am I forcing myself on her? Like, no.
Me when I hugged Desiree goodbye, I was like, I don't think anything of it. I just hug her.
Yeah.
No, like
Now you got me
family, I'm cool
overthinking.
with it.
But
and
it's new
everything.
people. I don't
Yeah.
like it when new people that I don't really know very well, except like if I'm trying to be welcoming, then I'll like
Yeah.
go out of my way to try to hug them. Like I met my brother's in-laws for the first time on Friday. And when we were leaving, I was like, bye, with my arms all open, all stupid. And she's like, oh. And then she hugged me. And then she was like, I'm a hugger too. I just didn't know if you'd like it.
Aw.
I guess it just depends. My parents were, I think they were more quality time, but also by the time we were able to like fend for ourselves, they would leave us. We always talk about it. Like I would wake up and my it's either like a note or a text, and they'd be like, "We're gonna go this place for the
Went
weekend."
to the flea market without you.
Yeah, we're gonna go for the weekend. Or like my dad would be like, "Hey, get up and get ready," and I'd be like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "Don't ask questions. Either get up and get ready and go with us, or don't
Stay.
come." And if I went, I knew I was getting breakfast, but I might have also been going to the ranch instead of the flea market, like I want to, you know. But so I guess it's more quality time with my parents. I don't really hug my parents. I mean, I hold my mom's hand all the time.
But like anything beyond that isn't really.
Yeah.
I don't think gifts were ever a real big thing culturally. It's just kind of
No.
not like you're even told not to give much credence to the gifts. But when you're giving, like when you're receiving a gift, but when you're giving a gift, it's like important. It's weird to
It
me.
feels sentimental. My dad, when COVID was happening for Christmas of 2020, before I got COVID and we all couldn't see each other. Thanks, Gus.
Chill zone.
My dad gave me the responsibility to go and shop for everybody's gifts, and I was like, "Oh Lord, he gave me the worst thing to do for Christmas because I can't even."
giving.
Well, I love gift giving too, but the thing about me, I'm an overthinker that likes to give gifts. So when I pick up something, I'll look at it and I'm just like, how would this make them feel? Would they like it? I'm over here contemplating 30 minutes on one gift for one person, and I have 20 other people in the family to go look for
It's like you're worrying about the perception.
of the gift. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to be really weird, specifically with the gifts I give you guys, because I want to get you guys something that you're going to use and that no one else is going to repeat.
You think it's a woman
Practical.
thing?
Yeah, practical. But then my things are also over the top.
Oh, that's true.
Aw.
No, not
Like
true,
just in
but like
weirdness.
it's good.
No, like in weirdness. Like I got Amy and I found this website called Kills Calls or something
I
like that.
love Dolls Killed, but I heard that we don't stand them anymore.
Oh, what happened?
Well, my bad. I bought them like dresses
like
and clothes
anti-vax
from
or
it because I
something.
loved it. I like the Care Bear stuff for you, and then I got the horror stuff for Amy, and I was all proud of myself for picking it out.
I
have
had
shoes
really
upstairs from
enjoyed the
them.
little makeup bag, the Brat shirt, and it was the baby blue like crossover.
That
like,
was so
tie one.
cute.
I wear it with this like tie dye sports bra, And it ties together very well with some light wash jeans. And I'm just like,
Anyways, I feel like everyone should take this test. And I hope I remember it because I would like to take this test like 10 years from now and see if I'm still the same.
Yeah.
Because I love receiving gifts and I love giving gifts, and that acts of or gift giving is the same vice versa.
Yeah. I think you should really, if you're going to take the quiz, really think about why these things are important to you to try to understand how you want to receive it or to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, because the questions themselves, not questions, it starts off with like, it's more meaningful to me when, and then it gives you 2 options that you choose from. And really think about it because I might have picked wrong.
Yeah, really think about which one means more. It both can be true, but which one's more true?
There was one question, it was like, when I receive flowers from my spouse, or it was like, when, what did it say?
I receive words of praise or something like that. Like
Yeah.
they're very slight differences, but they can mean totally different things.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that that's the gift giving and that's the words of affirmation. It could mean something towards quality time. Who knows?
Yeah.
But just take your time with it. I think it took me like 5 minutes to do all together because I like kind of overthought it. But it's really nice to see it. And then talking to Andrew about it, it gave us more perspective on how...
What's important to the other person.
Yeah, like how we work with each other now.
yeah.
It's only been like 2 days, but it's a lot different.
And you just think about things differently.
Yeah.
When I took the quiz, I thought of a warm feeling. Like, does it bring me comfort to know that they're giving me flowers, or does it bring me more comfort to know that I accomplished something and they told me that they were proud of me?
Yeah.
Or,
Because both are true, but which one's more true?
yeah. I call it the Olaf. I like warm hugs.
Yeah.
Even though he knows he could melt and, go away. I was like, the thought of him getting warm hugs comforts him.
Yeah.
So I thought with these questions,
He
it
has
took me.
permafrost now, by the way.
First of all, it's an animated kids movie. We don't have to get into those details. All I know is that he likes warm hugs, and he didn't care if he melted at the end.
He'd melt for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd melt for you too, Olaf.
Oh.
Hey, yo, you just said it was a kids movie.
Not you rizzing up the snowman.
What did you think, Amy? What did you learn from the quiz for yourself?
Nothing. I'm chronically online. I've probably taken this test like God knows how many times throughout the decade I've been on the internet.
Deadass?
Yes, I probably took dozens of BuzzFeed quizzes and other cred growing up.
Oh, I took those
I love
quizzes. I'm a Ravenclaw.
Oh my God.
What kind of potato are you? Those are mine. Those are my type of quizzes.
Oh, I did what kind of bread am I? I'm ciabatta. I love ciabatta.
Hey, yo, you had ciabatta for your Sweet 16. I went ham on those rolls. I think they got some at Costco.
I love. Yeah, they do the artisanal rolls, but they're ciabatta.
Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us about your love language. Thank you, Norma and Amy, for joining us.
Yes, this was fun. We're
Yeah.
gonna have a lot of outtakes. My bad, guys.
Twas a pleasure.
So thank you so much for staying and chatting with us on Now Try It With Wine. I'm Des,
And I'm Mary.
and we'll see you next week. Say bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And don't you forget that charcuterie board, you heard?